You're listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by queerness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 53, Fairytales of
In Response,
a legacy podcast.
I'm Philipp Klein
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
So guys, as you probably know, I'm back from a little small, how do I say this? A little small vacation or a weekend trip to Italy. I went there, I went to Venice and it was such a beautiful city. And
Is it the city that is located at the sea?
wait, what?
Yeah, Venice is the sea city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
at the coast.
yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, you don't know? That's kind of strange, actually,
Yeah.
right now.
It's
I've never been there.
Venedig.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I never been there, and I knew that there was some kind of tourism on like.
Oh my god, the
boating.
tourism is so huge there.
I mean, this famous tourism where you can go via boat between
Yeah.
the houses and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure if this is part of the sea or part of the lake somewhere. I don't know.
Okay. No. It's at the top of the
middle.
northern Adria,
Yeah, I guess so.
Adriatic Sea, northern Adriatic Sea.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it's actually pretty famous. I'm kind
Yeah, I know the city.
Okay. I
know
wasn't
the
really
city.
sure right now what you were talking about.
I know
So-
the city. I didn't only know if it's directly at the sea or not, or a little bit.
It's an island. It's actually
an island, okay.
and you drive about.
Okay.
You drive there with
With a ferry.
No, it's not a ferry. It's like a huge long ass bridge.
S Bridge.
Over a bridge.
Yeah, it's not really a bridge. It's like a dam. Yeah, it's like a
Dam.
dam.
It's an S. It's a dam. Okay, and then you reach the city, and then it's as isolated from the Festland. How I can say it for the. You know what I mean?
I don't really know. Oh my gosh, this is so awkward right now.
From the... Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's from the main lines of Italy.
Yeah, from the main. It's
Yeah.
a little bit from the mainland, and yeah, it was really beautiful. And it was the 1st of May where I went there, and we are having today the 3rd of May. So, but you know what? Also, in just 1 month, happening. Also in Italy,
The votings.
which.
No, I don't know. I'm just joking.
Okay, yes, that's true. I take everything pretty literally today. But yeah, 4 seasons in Bologna is happening. It's the spring iteration this time. And we will be there without Peter again.
Yeah.
Again?
So I think at this point, Peter, you really have to, let's say, justify yourself to all our listeners. Why are you not coming to the Four Seasons?
Because I have...
Don't you like them? Don't you like our listeners? Peter, really?
I really want to go to the Four Seasons, but I have a gig with a big band on Friday at night.
Yeah, okay.
And...
That's the night train.
No,
Yeah.
the night train starts at like 9.
Yeah, I guess
It's
so.
not really available for me. I've looked into maybe booking a flight, but it is everything really awkward going down. So, yeah.
But you could fly there on Saturday. in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah. I looked for the Saturday flights because then you have to travel by train to
Vienna.
Wayne and stuff like that. It's quite awkward.
Yeah, sure. It's not like you go there like in a few hours.
Yeah, it's.
Man.
I will most likely be there at September. Please don't kick me. If I don't,
I will kick you. I will kick you and put it on Twitter.
We will take it for granted, and we will take notes. Peter will be in the September iteration of.
because I will be qualified for the Elm, so I have to go anyways.
We only have like, unless you are playing at the Elm, but unless that we have only, at least in Austria, one last chance to qualify.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there is once the Austrian Legacy League that we have in Linz.
Yeah,
I mean,
how likely you cannot qualify?
You can't qualify because you don't play enough.
But
that won't
yeah.
work.
This is excluded
me.
for all of us.
Yeah.
It's most likely 1 or 2 qualifier left for me.
Yeah,
but
if you play
I will for
the
sure win one of them.
if you play the Alm, then you have 2 shots.
Yeah, it's a little bit in the stars.
Unless you want to travel to
Linz.
to Germany or I don't know whatever. There's different qualifiers as well, of course.
Or next weekend, the Slovakian qualify in Bratislava.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to attend a family birthday, so I can't go there either. But for anybody listening there, at next week on Sunday the 7th, there is an Elm qualifier in Bratislava. It's like 30 euros entry. Payout will be in store credit. The guys down there, the players, would like if you attend there, if you are in the area.
And they're pretty strong player also. So Samuel Zaharchak,
The winner of
the winner of the last European Legacy Masters, is playing also there. So
This is the community
And
of Dalibor and
really
those
strong
guys,
community, really strong players.
And the 3rd or 4th place from the last Elm also is from these boys.
Is it Eric?
Eric Santo, yeah.
He will come to our Elm.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to you. I don't know if the Slovakian guys are listening or not, but I just saw it. I think yesterday. Maybe the guys will follow up. The guys of Slovakia to also
I just hope because we need a lot of international guests for this to be great. And speaking
I'm already hooked. I'm already kind of really surprised and very happy about the registers that we have so far.
yeah,
So
actually, I think we have 4 or 5 people from Poland. We have at least one guy from Germany, at least. So it's Kaiser Watari that we already
he will
spoiled.
come, I think, with 2 extra guys.
Okay.
So it's like a small group.
And also, and that's the next huge news we've got from Italy, Niccolo Comoni.
Yes.
He already booked his flights and his trains to come to Linz at the Austrian Legacy Masters. And he also said he will try to get us some Italians to come also here. So if you're looking for some international action, come to Linz at the end of July.
Very good.
For the Austrian Legacy Masters.
Awesome. Yeah, besides that, I think what we can always mention is our beloved patrons.
Who will also hopefully be playing there. At least one.
I hope both.
I hope also both.
Let's see. It's Gino, of course, Neutz, who will, I know, participate in the Elm. But also we have Matt Duncan.
So shout out to you guys.
Matt, just come over.
Play at the ALM.
Yeah. We want you to be here and celebrate with us our beloved legacy scene in Europe. This would be nice.
So speaking of our beloved legacy scene, you two guys played at the last European Legacy Masters qualifier in Graz. I unfortunately was in Italy. and ate good food and drank good wine. But yeah, you played for the glory of our community.
For our nation.
For our nation, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
How did you two fare? I haven't had any time to check the standings or something, or I don't really know who won all of that.
Yeah.
So please enlighten me.
Of course. Well, first of all Honestly, I want to tell a little bit the story of traveling there. I think this is something that could be shared. I honestly thought it would be much more tedious to get there because I am a person that has been in Graz for like only once or twice before, so I couldn't really remember how long it takes. But it's only like two and with a little bit of extra time, close to 3 hours to drive there. I think.
Well, yeah, if you take really a long breakfast at the McDonald's or something, then you go to 3 hours. But I already
we took the Pune Pass and didn't drive through the
Really?
Bostrup tunnel, so it's like 20 minutes extra. That means we are not at 2 hours 20 minutes, so more likely to 2 hours 40 minutes.
Which is actually a good anecdote. We in Austria, and in case you haven't heard of that, there's like different types of how you pay or how you, accommodate for using the big
the big highways, yeah.
the highways. And I think different countries, like I think Italy, they pay via how long the entries and the exit, and you pay how long you drive there, depending on when you enter and when you exit.
How's
the
that
distance.
called?
It's
I don't know how the
modeled
system
in Austria.
Yeah.
It's like a toll that you have to pay.
A toll, yeah, exactly. And there's different systems for that. We in Austria, we are I think maybe one of the only countries in the earth who can not only have like a system that is you need to have like a ticket that is that you need to buy, and then you are allowed to go on any highway in Austria. Plus, if you want to drive through these 2 tunnels, actually, you have to pay extra. It's the only system, I think, in the whole world that has like 2 systems on top of each other.
Yeah.
Instead of just having one.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the it's called Vignette. It's like the system that you have to pay for the use of the highways for a year. I mean, there are like 14 days, 10 days, or like a month types for the toll for the usual use of the highway. But we have like 4 to 5 tunnels that were more expensive that you have to pay to use it. It's down to Italy. It's the Brenner tunnel. It's Brennero, I think, for the Italian guys that you have to pay for. I mean, most of the German guys will know it too, because when they travel down there, they drive through the tunnel. Anyways, but the problem with going down to Graz is like you have 2 tunnels where you have to go through there. I mean, it shortens the ride down there by at least an hour. But the problem is like it's an additional 18 euros per way that you have to pay. I mean, it's only 18 euros, but it accumulates.
Yeah, if you drive there, go there, and then go back home, it's 30. I don't know.
But there's also
it's quite some money.
There's also a yearly ticket that you can,
of course,
that you can buy, and it's like if you drive 2 times,
3 times,
or 3 times.
3 times, yeah. It's already compensated.
It's compensated, and
but usually, I mean, I'm one of the guys that drives there like maybe once a year.
Yeah, that's true.
This is just stupid. But okay, for whatever reason, this is something that we have to pay in Austria. That's fine. We went there like, as I said, 3 hours. Then, we arrived there like midday because the tournament didn't start until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you had a very chilled travel time, actually.
We grabbed something to eat at a nice restaurant there that's called The Italian.
And the pizza was authentic Italian pizza dough.
No.
It was actually...
I don't believe you.
Really, really good. It wasn't like stretched out.
Yeah, we didn't have an Italian to confirm that, but it really looked really nice.
Yeah, it tasted like it should taste. It's not like
American style or whatever.
Turkish style pizzas that we have a lot in Austria because a lot of like where you can get.
Is it
kebab
better,
and
like,
stuff
for example,
that.
we have a lot of these Italian restaurants in Linz also, for example. I don't know if you have been to something like La Ruffa or whatever, or how's the other one called in next to the casino in Linz? There's some Italian restaurants.
Okay.
Never.
Never. Okay. These are they're run by Italians,
Yeah.
and they really make really, really good pizza.
But it's made
Not-
for Austrian.
No, it's not the same that you get for when you order it and from Lieferando or whatever,
Yeah.
or any kind of service. It's also not like this standard pizza place that you would go to some kind of Italian pizza that is actually run by any I don't know. You know, these are really places where you are accommodated. They speak Italian to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have this strong Italian accent, and they behave like Italians, like this really nice guys that you would normally also encounter anywhere when you're in Bologna, for example. And didn't you know them? There are 2 or 3 places in Linz actually
Okay.
where you can
wow.
go to, yeah, and they make really, really good authentic pizza because of course they're Italians, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Italian food is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best of
But
the world.
the Italian where we were in Graz was, I think, not run by Italians.
No, it's not run by Italians, but they have like a really big paper. It's like a newspaper in this kind of format that you have to open and go through there to see news. And on the right side you have like 4 or 5 dishes that you can order. Then you have to go through the next page where it's like a lot of information. Then 4 or 5 additional kind of food and beverages that you can order. And it was like really, really big kind of a menu. But one thing that I read there was like they have like the pizza world champion, which is an Italian guy that is being flown, or like he travels to Austria to teach the cooks of this chain how to make the correct pizza dough, which flour to use, how do you do it yourself, and that it's really authentic, good pizza dough, and you can really taste it. I mean, not only the pizza dough was amazing, also the flavor of the stuff above it. It was a well-made small pizza.
Wow. Actually, I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah. Of course, I guess in Italy it's still better, but
Probably because of the ingredients, because they
also
are
the
far more
environment, you
regional,
know,
yeah.
the
environment
flair,
makes a lot,
and also when you have your aperitivo and whatever, I don't know.
La Vino Rosso.
Yeah, whatever. It's
but-
still better, of course.
But I think we have to go to the best meal of the day. I think after...
the Leberkassemel afterwards.
No.
No, at first it's the...
After the pizza, there was the breakfast.
That was the breakfast. At least for me,
Yeah.
a short period of the time. Yeah, I played Austrian breakfast again, like always. First round opponent, let me see, it was Coiny. Shout out to Coiny. He did really nice finish. He played this mono blue painter version that's been running around all on Magic Online and also in some events. He really demolished me. I don't know. I really couldn't do anything, but honestly I never played against this deck, and I was really kind of stumbled or like stifled almost. I was like, what the fuck I'm doing? I don't know. I didn't have any plan at all.
First time playing Legacy.
Yeah, I feel like, is this card good or not? I don't know. I just put it in. I have no idea about any sideboard planning or like a strategy behind it. I couldn't identify it, and therefore obviously I lost. Second match was against Delver. I think it was just regular blue-red Delver. I almost had the impression they had like 5 or 6 bolts in the deck, accompanied by 2 or 3 chain lightning. Okay. Because in both games they were like, I don't know, play Dragon Rage Channeler, and Delver. They had like 3 creatures on turn 2 in both games, attacking. The Delver didn't really flip. I think, yeah, nice, fine, it's okay for me. And then they're like, bolt, chain lightning, you're dead. okay. I'm fine. So no chance. I started really, really badly at 0-2. But the last 3 rounds I got to win against, I don't know what the round 3 opponent was. I think it wasn't it Gino? Yeah, I played against Gino at some point.
Classic.
Yeah, he played elves. I had a pretty good matchup against this, so I won that one. Then I think I also played. Yeah, I think the most noticeable match was against the Mirror. I had the Mirror.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the last round. I was 2-2, and yeah, I thought, okay, maybe because one guy with 3-2 could maybe like
Slide into the top 8.
yeah, exactly. But odds were not in my favor, of course. But I wanted to try, and my opponent was playing breakfast. He was really like, he was not really a pleasant guy.
He came too late to the round
Yeah,
because it was like
6 minutes
outside.
late. 6 minutes late. I almost went and said, okay, yeah, maybe let's just have extra time. I don't know, because I wanted to.
I think it was only 3 or 4 minutes.
No, it was
because I said
44 minutes left.
Because I said to the judge, if it's more than 5 minutes, he should give him a game loss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was
Okay.
It was more than 5 minutes actually. It was like, and I could have insisted on it, and he was just like, yeah, no, come on, it's this game's not gonna last long enough. So he's just coming and it's kind of really condescending in some way, and he just began to shuffle and he's like, yeah, okay, let's play it, whatever. Game 1, I had such a nice game. This was so nice. I really put it into his face because I had a vial going up and ticking up, and I knew he was on breakfast because I saw it from previous rounds, and I know, of course, game 1 they don't have any removal, so I put vial on 1, end of turn vial in the Nomads and Core, then put a vial on 2, vialed in the Cephalid Illusionist, and then I just went for the combo, starting to mill myself. He didn't concede right away because I knew I had 2 mana open. I knew the only interaction that the guy had was like days in game 1 and force. That's the only thing that can be happening. So I need to make sure that I beat force and 2 days. I had 2 open mana, and my opponent had 2. He was tapped out on 2 lands, so he could have only dazed me twice, and I could pay both of them, so that's fine. So I only need to beat the force. So I milled until I got my Carol Therapy. I cast Carol Therapy, and the only correct answer naming is
Force
for
of
Force of
Will,
Will. Then immediately scooped because he knew, okay, now I'm dead.
Technically, can you be allowed to scoop after the naming?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can,
can
scoop
scoop
it
anytime. You can scoop
Okay.
anytime.
That's the rule actually. It's written.
That's
because
what it
I
did.
think
That's what it did, yeah.
Is it an empty? I mean, MTGO is kind of different because in MTGO you still will see the hand. I think if the Cabal Therapy resolves because it's like the cast of the card.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
At Paper Magic, you can concede anytime.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, it resolves, and what do you name? And I said, Force of Will, and then, okay, let's go to game 2. He didn't show me his hand, and yeah. It's okay.
You just waited if you knew what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I would name something differently, most probably he had a force,
Yeah.
and then he could have forced my dread return. Second game, I don't know what. I think he was just cantripping a little bit, and at some point playing a Stoneforge Mystic, grabbing Kaldra, I think it was. And he had like only 2 or 3 cards left in the hand. I knew it was Kaldra because he searched for it, and he played a second Stoneforge Mystic before, and he said fail to find. So I was like 100% sure he
had
had
a Shuko in hand.
a Shuko and a Kaldra in hand. So okay, and it was like one unknown card. There are 2 artifacts in the hand. 1 unknown card. If it's a force, I don't care. He doesn't have a blue card. So I go for the kill, kind of, and reveal Cabal Therapy, I think, and then, what did I name? Yeah, maybe, I think, just for safety, I named surgical because this could be off Fairy Macabre, I don't know. This of course could be the one single card that could beat me at that spot. But he just then said, okay, no, yeah, you have it. He was really kind of pissed. He didn't have a Shuku in hand.
Wait,
And then it
what?
was like, okay, why didn't you find a Shuku and so? And then he was really angrily saying it, yeah, because I bought it all the combo against you. I said, what? You playing the mirror and you bought all the combo? He was going for a fair plan.
That seems like a losing position.
I was not sure. Maybe he was onto something. It didn't work out this time.
I don't want to insult you, but I think you did the same thing once against Fuchin, if you remember. It's when you started out with playing Breakfast.
Could be, I don't know.
You were playing against Fuchin, and you boarded out the combo and boarded completely into the fair plan, where and Fuchin is like a deck that completely blasted. I mean, sometimes you want to go, okay, if I blank all the stuff that he boards in against my combo, I'm gonna win. But yeah. You need the acceleration to win and force a win.
I can't remember. Maybe it could also be that I trimmed on the combo a little bit. I couldn't remember if I ever bought it out the combo, like really completely bought out Red Return, Tassa, all the Nakamivas and stuff like this.
Could be that you only trimmed, yeah.
Yeah, it could be that I really emphasized on the fair plan. And this is of course wrong against Aluren. You have to go full combo. But in the mirror, it was like, yeah, okay. But he kind of argued that the reason he does this is because I have two Fairy Macabre in my sideboard. I want to just put you in a position where you just go for the combo and I have my Fairy Macabre. It's a 2-off in the sideboard. You're basing your whole sideboard plan for a 2-off that you most likely won't find.
I mean, it's a blue deck.
It's a blue deck, okay?
At some point you find it.
And if you have it, it can work out, of course.
But if you're a good Breakfast player with a little bit of luck, it won't work.
It won't work, yeah. I mean, I could have lost to it. It's for sure. I could have lost to it because I was putting him on Shuku in hand, which was not the case. Maybe if there is... I could have also lost to Force, probably.
Yeah.
That is for sure a possibility. But
most of the time I think it will work out in your favor.
Yeah, I guess so because
your deck is simply more I don't want to say streamlined, but it's more like it's more trimmed to the most optimal version in this particular matchup or in this particular
But I think, I mean, what he did identify right is the standard stock list doesn't play Aether Vial. And I did show him that in game 1 actually. And Aether Vial is a card that if you have it in the deck, a card like Force of Will gets so much worse that you can't really play an effective disruptive plan against Breakfast unless it is really something like Dress Down, Containment Priest or Topo Orb or how is it also? Yeah, Fairy Macabre and stuff like this.
But then that also speaks, in my opinion, more for going full combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Even that this is more like
exactly.
You don't bought out the combo.
Exactly. That's the point. He wanted to kind of disrupt me, but his forces, his swords, and whatever, because of my Aether Vials are really not good. He only had really these 2 Fairy Macabre. And yeah, those are good, but these are only 2 cards. And therefore, I really think it would have been better for him. He should have identified, okay, I have Aether Vial. My disruptive plan is really not that good. I should have gone for a different plan for game 2.
Yeah. So what would... I'm not a set for Breakfast player, but what would be the correct way to board here?
That's a good question. I think...
more in general, it's like you go more full combo, but if the disruptive plan isn't really that good, what have you in your or what's in the stock list that's more like that screams here I am, board me in if you want to go faster.
If you want to go faster, you basically don't need to change anything because you don't have anything in the board that is making your game plan faster, unless you no, actually not. I mean, if you have extra copies of Thassa's Oracle, you can put it in
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
because you can beat Fairy Macabre a little bit better. Surgical also, for surgical, can also be a miss sometimes. But other than advancing your own game plan, it is not really much in the sideboard. Usually you have disruptive elements in the sideboard, like swords, like Fairy Macabre, surgical, or
I was just interested because in Dredge, you're mostly board against combo in strange things like Lotus Petal to just be faster, or Flamekin Sealer
okay.
to go even faster than.
Yeah. No, this is in breakfast. Not like the deck is at its fastest in game one. The standard the configuration is like as it is. You only have like protective elements, swords, force of negation, surgical, whatever that is, or prismatic ending, flusterstorm. Like you have extra protection and some kind of removal for problematic cards.
Yeah, you can in post board with these kinds of decks. You wanna be a little bit more safe, so you have the safety nets in, as you said, like flusterstorm and stuff like that. And because you want to go safe, you have to get an additional protection layer against creatures, for example, against Blue-Red Delver. And this is the form of the removal spells. So you're basically slowing down yourself in game 2 and 3. But you have additional safety nets and removal to compensate for the time loss, to be more safe against counter spells and interaction. Because most of the time in game 1 you don't have that much interaction from your opponent to fear. And especially because you are a graveyard dependent combo deck most of the time, and therefore you want to be safe in game 2 and 3 because the interaction comes from the sideboard.
Yeah, makes total sense to me.
And I remember actually in my first game I played against Coiny, he had Soul Guide Lantern in both games on like turn 1 or 2.
Ouch! Yeah, that hurts.
And having them in game 1 Graveyard Hate is really, really good against
that's
breakfast.
pretty strong. Yeah, that's true.
That's one
you have to wizard cycle for the Thassa's in hand, and then combo with 4 to 5 mana, but against the 6/4 deck, it's.
And
you don't
with
play
a combo finish themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. This is really, really tough. This is also one of the reasons why this Red Painter, Black Red Painter is a very bad matchup. They have a really good game 1 plan. Just find the Graveyard Hate, for example, on top of having blasts and whatever. It's really good against breakfast.
Yeah.
Speaking of Painter, how did you fare, Peter?
Or
did you again miss out on playing Painter?
No, I played Painter. I thought about going the staff route, but I played Painter. It's the deck I have. It's the deck I like. And deck played great, even though I played more like a Death and Texas deck in this tournament, because I played like in most matchups I boarded in like a full playset of Magos of the Moon, and it started out like in the first match against TES, I lost a close game 1, and in game 2 I won like with 2 Magos of the Moon beatdown. And game 3 was again a 2 Magos of the Moon and a Painter beatdown. Was fun to play. I mean, it's a lot dependent that my opponent doesn't draw Lotus Petals and stuff like that. Because like if he can get the colored sources, it's basically game over.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I'm glad it worked out. Then in the second round, I played against the winner of the tournament. He was on Food Chain Goblins with a playset of Mind Goblins, which the match started off like, I have my 10 sticker cards, this is my sticker deck, you have to select 3 of them and then reveal them. I will show you after the match that these are 10 different distinct cards. So
he wanted to show you after the match.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Not before, no. First you play and then.
I mean, it was all fair play from him, but yeah, it was like pretty stomped over, bad keep from me in game 1. Game 2 was like okayish. It was a little bit of a greedy keep, but I think the hand was like really good if I can draw a red source in the first 2 to 3 turns. Any red source. But yeah, it was like turn number 7 when I draw my red source. So it was like,
seems a little bit late.
I mean, I lived up to that point, but it wasn't great either. So I lost that round. Then I played against Blue Red Delver, which I basically rolled over. Was like strong hands on my point, good managing of the crucial cards of his side, and yeah, rolled over him to a 2-1. Then I played against Ruck Food Chain.
Rack food chain, okay.
Yeah,
Is this the
against,
standard configuration they have now?
I mean, it's.
I think so.
I think it's Ruck. I mean, it was definitely Ruck with a few expressive iteration, if you remember.
At that time?
No, not currently, but because like previously it was like Band.
Exactly.
But like Ruck Fuchin is a little bit faster, and Band Fuchin Ruck Fuchin is a little bit more streamlined, and Band Fuchin has a lot more interaction. And I like it when they don't have a lot of interaction against my welders, because like game 1 it was like came pretty down to the wires, but he had like the perfect 2-3 cards in his hand to like force of will my crucial stuff, and then go infinite with Griffin, draw a Uro for turn, Uroed, could replay the Uro from the graveyard, that drew into Recruiter, that drew into the combo. Yeah,
well,
happens. If I lived there a turn, I would have had Welder and Chaos Defiler online and sweep the whole board and win from there, but it wasn't. Game 2, I played like a really slow game, and unfortunately, him too. He sideboarded out 2 Fuchin, which he told me after the match, and I was really glad because it's the card I fear the most in a matchup, because if we play fair, I can win. And in game 2, I had like two Goblin Welder, a Goblin Engineer, and a Chaos Defiler to go in and out. There won't stick anything.
Yeah.
No, really.
And I mean, he like double endurance per graveyard at some point. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I will draw stuff and I will go off anyways. And game 3 was a close game, but Chaos Defiler came out on top. So yeah, got to ID in the 5th round to the top 8. Then I played against Coiny, and there I played Mono Red Painter versus Mono Blue Painter.
Okay, yeah.
For game 1, I can say afterwards that my keep wasn't optimal. I think I have to kind of go for a fast draw with most likely Red Elemental Blast or Pyroblast, because you need the interaction against the opposing Emery, because he played like a Emery on turn 1 into a Bauble and drew 3 cards off of it, and you can't compensate for that.
But I think he won both games via combo, right?
He won both games via combo, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay if they win through the combo, but yeah.
And you know what? What I saw also in his list afterwards, I don't know if you recognize it. I think the matchup is anyways, for this kind of specific builds, very tough for you, because he has Gear's Blessing in his sideboard.
Ouch. Yeah.
And it's not that it's like completely game over, but this like really shuts off a possible game plan at some point.
But yeah, I think you got 6th place, am I right?
Yeah. It was a 6th place because like in the game 2, I had I think a good opening. I played like a turn 1 Magus of the Moon to shut him off colored sources. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't enough. He comboed me on like turn 5 because I didn't drew any artifact for like 5 turns.
Oh, well, yeah, this happens.
And I only attacked for 3 because I had a painter on the Magus of the Moon, I think, in play, or a Velda.
No, I think no painter.
Engineer and the Magus of the Moon was in play.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't draw anything.
Well, that's almost like having a Delva.
Yeah. But yeah, was unfortunate, but it happens. Next tournament, next chances. Good for double the entry back and getting some cards upgraded. So it was a nice trip.
Yeah, you bought yourself some Ancient Tombs, you said.
Yeah, I traded in my new Ancient Tombs for the classic old Ancient Tombs.
Yeah. And we have the winner of the tournament was in the end Daniel Donko, the Goblin Food Chain
Goblins.
player. Yes,
Goblins.
very nice in my opinion, because it is a deck that you usually don't see at all in like these big tournaments, at the top place at least.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a nice accomplishment. He secured himself a spot for the Elm, fighting for the Austrian team.
And he was undefeated for the whole tournament. He went 3-0 into double ID into 3-0.
Wow,
so it's
pretty strong, yeah.
It's absolutely his pet deck. Deck completely folded out. So yeah.
But yeah, that's again a thing that's pretty how should I say it, unique to Legacy, where if you know the ins and outs of your deck, you can really win with a ham sandwich a bigger tournament. And
yeah, I think also the kind of, let's call it, surprise factor is very in his favor.
Yeah.
Nobody expects, I'm facing Food Chain Goblins at the next round. People are not prepared for that.
yeah, at least not in top 8.
Not. And if you, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're a really good Delver player and you know your deck in and out, you can finish easily, no problem. But you have this kind of extra layer of, my opponent is playing, I don't know, whatever, Strawberry Shortcake, whatever, any deck, or how's it called, this with Ice Station Zebra or whatever. This is kind of decks that you normally don't see, but if you're really good at these decks, you can defeat anyone.
Yeah, that's true. So what you guys said it was your Fairytale? Not really. Oh.
I mean, up until the bad draws, it was.
It was a nice trip.
I mean, the trip was nice. I've learned that I should mulligan more.
Everybody should mulligan more.
I mean, sometimes you have to keep greedy if you know that you have to get lucky to even win. You have an optimal hand where only one part is missing, because like if you mulligan down, you won't get it anyways. But a lot of the time, I just have to be a little bit more disciplined with mulligan decisions, and yeah,
that's it.
Good takeaway.
Did we see something that is popping up in the latest trends of Legacy during the tournament? I don't think so at all, because we decided we could talk about 2 of the most exciting new cards that are having a little bit of a show in the last Legacy big finishes, at least online. 2 cards that are
we already talked about them. I think
we talked about it a little bit.
Last or in the overlast episode. The first one that's on our list is Fairy Mastermind. It's the invitational card, or the World Champion card from
Yuta Takashi.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know the name. I knew the name. And we already evaluated as pretty, you said mediocre, but as playable actually in Legacy, I think.
I think we didn't say mediocre.
We said it will come. You said something like a counter to blue decks or to other brainstorm decks.
Of course, it is obvious. This is what the card does, right? It punishes.
It's a very specific card for very specific situations, I would say.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
The application is like you need your opponents to most likely activate it for you, because like 4 mana is a lot in Legacy. For like draw 2 for yourself and an additional draw 1 for your opponent. But the card has application, and the one shell that we see the card currently in, where it sees experimentation, is like Cheska Stoneblade. It's
Stoneblade or normal Jeskai decks, like these Days Undoing versions.
in Days Undoing, it is also played, yeah. But in Stoneblade is like it's a efficient carrier of equipments, like it was True Name Nemesis, basically, because it's like
A flash
an eraser
flying is great for carrying equipment. Yeah, that's true.
And it's an additional 2-drop that you have kind of the slot, because previously it was only Stoneforge Mystic. Now you can flash in the fairy at the end step of your opponent.
Yeah, previously you played Snapcaster Mage in this slot, am I right?
Yeah, for example, there's like a mix of different cards that you could play, maybe a little bit more direction, Snapcaster Mages. I don't know, max out on other cards, I don't know, Nazets, whatever you would, or Teferis, I don't know.
We also saw like the second card we will talk about later, like Staff of the Storyteller in the same slot, which is also like the 2-drop slot that can draw you cards. Because like even if we have Snapcaster Mage, which has like 2 CMC, Snapcaster Mage was always a 3 CMC card.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes it's a good old ambush viper, but most of the time you want to milk it for the value. So it's like cool to have the 2-drop in there. That allows you to play very specific on curve.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why this kind of card fits into this Jeskai decks. They were like really crowded on 3-drops.
Yeah.
They were really clunky, and having this 2-drop that slides just in between gives you a more efficient way of using your mana, especially on turn 2. And this 2/1 flyer is a threat that has to be respected from a control-ish kind of deck. If you flash it in end of turn on turn 2, I don't know, if you hold up Brainstorm, Force, Spell Pierce, whatever, then end of turn you just flash it in and then start attacking. This is something that you can proactively do with Snapcaster. You could also do it, but you wouldn't really do it on turn 2. And it's more like for the later turns.
Yeah.
And this card, you flash it in, you have the value, and even at later stages, if you have nothing else to do, just activate it, draw sometimes 2 cards. Because if you activate it in, I think, the opponent's turn,
exactly.
you just draw 2 cards if you activate it with 4 mana. Because of the static ability of Fairy Mastermind. That's the great thing about it.
And one thing I wanted to mention is like the play patterns of the deck can now change a little bit, because like the play pattern is when you play like the Stoneforge Mystic, you basically tap down for your turn 3 or turn 2 for your opponent. With Fairy Mastermind now you don't tap out, and the problem was with only Stoneforge Mystic, your turn 2 can only be one of 2 phases, like a completely active turn or like an aggressive turn in the form when you play the Stoneforge Mystic, or a really reactive turn when you hold up like a Brainstorm with a fetch land, or a Swords to Plowshares, for example, like hardcast counterspell, whatever your choice is. And now you have like the option to go for into turn 2 without being decided if you have an aggressive turn 2 or a reactive turn 2. I mean, it's
yeah, that's true.
It's reactive because you react to your opponent, but it can also result into an aggressive turn 3 because you have a flyer in there. And play pattern is something that I think is really, really huge in Legacy currently, or always basically, because if you can react to your opponent and play into the end phases of your opponent and react to their cards, it can be huge.
Yeah, that is true. In that sense, I think this card is definitely for this kind of strategies. If Jeskai, Stoneblade, or Days Undoing is remaining to be a powerful deck in the format, Fairy Masterminds for sure will be a role in the deck, in my opinion. So yeah, excited for this. That we have these invitational cards really entering the legacy format and being a reasonable strong card that is on the power level, but not too strong. It is completely fine.
Yeah, a nice addition.
Nice addition. Yeah.
A nice addition that's
With a cool niche.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is important.
And it's the second world champion card that we are seeing in Legacy. The first one was Elite Spellbind and the Mono-White Initiative decks.
Yeah.
And Snap Custom Mage.
Yes, this was.
No, this was was it a world champion or was it invitational?
Yeah, that's
basically
that's a difference.
It's basically designed with the player. I would count it into the same realm.
Yeah. But
I mean, we have like a lot of those. Stillman Safekeeper is also one of them.
Yeah.
Bob
was in the past.
Confident. Yeah.
Was in the past, yeah.
And I think the first one was
Shadow Mage
Infiltrator. Yeah.
Meddling Mage also.
Meddling Mage. We have a lot of those cards actually being played in Legacy.
Oh yeah, that's
one
true.
of the worst cards is like the one drop with the equipments.
Oh, the one I don't know about this.
I think it's the not PVDDR was Elite Spellbinder. It was Xavier Dominguez.
Yeah, but this is not. I've never seen this card in Legacy.
It was also what it isn't played in Legacy.
Okay.
Yeah,
but what is commonly played also in sometimes Naiadev, Sylvan Safekeeper.
Yeah,
Already.
Yeah,
for example.
That's a nice 2-off.
Yeah.
Mostly,
Yeah.
Yeah. But the next card isn't a World Champion card.
No.
It's a Commander card. It's Staff of the Storyteller. And yeah, we already talked about this, I think, in the last episode a little bit more. And I already toyed around with the idea of having something like a Barbu Pyromancer or just slotting it right in, and got hooked into my veins.
Yeah.
What do you think about this card? It's popping up pretty much all over MTGO.
In a lot of control decks and
Also Stoneblade.
And in the Breakfast.
Wait, really? In Breakfast?
Yes.
it's the Baleful Strix slot.
A lot of guys have been trying it out, and it seems rather promising, to be honest. When I first saw this card and saw it popping out in Breakfast list, I was like, okay, I just think that Baleful Strix is just better because it's blue. It immediately draws a card without investing mana.
It's Death Touch.
It's a Death Touch. Just be better, right? But the staff is like, okay, I have it one in play. It's like, if you cast the first one, it's really like not that amazing. But if you have the second one,
then it gets good.
You're getting two more cards, kind of.
Or the best thing is actually if you have one stuff and then you play an Urza Saga.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is such a good feeling.
Exactly, yeah. And Breakfast also has Urza Saga.
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
deck. And what they also have in deck for this kind of version, they have Retrofit the Foundry. So they're just shit tokens and
draw
cards. So this is actually a nice engine, and it's really powerful. And I really think why your version, Philipp, with this Mardu pile is well equipped to also utilize this kind of powerfulness of this card.
Oh yeah, that's true, because we talked about this in the last episode, and I thought to myself, I have this artifact control mid-range pile actually, and stuff is just slotting right in, and I'm playing Daretti Ingenious Iconoclast in there, and this is also token shitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to play Saga because I think me and you we talked about this, that stuff seems to need Saga to correctly work, or to get not correctly work, but to get the most out of stuff, you need to play Sagas.
I think that Saga is a good card that can utilize stuff. The problem with stuff a lot of the time when brewing and playing new decks is like you want to play the fancy cards that produce tokens a lot. I mean, I talk to a lot of players that want to play the baddest card for Legacy currently. I know I insult you, Lingering Souls. It doesn't
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You justify playing a really, really bad card in the current environment with playing a card that doesn't need this card to work. It's like a small niche card that has you have so many cool small tools that can produce additional tokens and stuff like that, like the Saga, like the Daretti. You don't have that much mana.
Caldra and Batterskull.
Caldra, Batterskull,
Batterskull. Also, when you're blue, you have
Shark
Typhoon. So you really want to have cards that are individually strong, and not that are only good when you have a staff. This is not the right way.
The thing is, stuff is like, if you can get value additionally out of your other good cards, then stuff becomes insane. Stuff becomes so insane.
And one thing that a lot of players dismiss is like, you have to pay 1 white mana to draw the card. And 1 white mana to be specifically white is a really big cost. I mean,
depends on the deck.
Depends on the deck, but if you play like a lot of token producers with 4 stuffs, it doesn't make sense to play a lot of token producers, because you have to play mana for your spells, you have to pay mana to draw cards, you won't have the mana for that. You have to be like a 4 Moxopal, 4 Lotus Petal deck.
Not only this, because I think you have to tap stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's the next big thing. If you're making a lot of tokens, the stuff is the same if it has 1 counter on it or it has 5 counter on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter in any way.
Yeah.
It's more of a matter, or it matters more that you can produce a token each turn. So you get 1 counter on the stuff for each turn, and you can use the ability over
it's incremental advantage.
Over the next few turns and gain advantage all the time, and you draw a lot of cards. So therefore, cards like Lingering Souls that put 2 tokens into play,
which only puts 1 thing into onto the stuff, because it's like whenever you put 1 or more creature token, it's like, I mean, it's nice. Lingering Souls can draw about 2 turns, 2 cards, because you can activate it twice because from a graveyard with flashback. But it's like, whatever you pay 7 mana
that's what I want to say,
4 1/1 and 2 cards. I mean, it's 4 1/1s and 2 cards,
but not
over
7
2
mana
turns. Not 7 mana worth. You invest your whole turn 4 and turn 5 basically. It's like way too much.
And then you just compare that with Urza's Saga. You invest the 2 mana from stuff for a 1/1. Then you have 2 mana or 3 mana because you have to
tap itself.
The Saga itself. So you have to invest 8 mana. Let's say 8 mana because of 2 times Saga activation, and 2 mana from the staff for example, 1/1, and at least 2 free frees.
And Saga is just a land that is a tutor for any nice bullets that you would. Saga is a strong card. This is no discussion about it. It's way better than any other.
Than Lingering Souls.
The Lingering Souls.
And unfortunately, I love my dear Lingering Souls, but I'm pretty sure the days of Lingering Souls are long gone.
Especially with Staff now. Staff is the one that you put over.
Is Souls.
Yeah.
Staff is the new Souls.
Staff is not Souls. Staff, as I told you, is the new Reckless Impulse. Staff is like exactly the card that plays you card advantage in a non-blue shell like this. This is like the thing that I think glues the Ratty shell together. You have like a small core package, which is in my case it's like Esper Sentinel, because it's like my favorite deer. Then you have like the Urza Saga package with the Stoneforge Mystic Saga, with the Stoneforge Mystic package. Well, there's a cool card now to interact with the graveyard and gain additional advantages. You have the Daretti at the top end. You have a bunch of removal basically in the deck. And then you have the stuff that is the small glue that draws you the cards you need, because you don't have card selection because you don't play Brainstorm Ponder. You need raw card advantage, and therefore you need Esper Sentinel and the stuff to draw additional cards to play of them. And with these much token producers, because you have like 11 token producers in the deck. You have like 4 stuffs, you have 4 Urza Saga, and you have 3 Dorettis. It's 11 token producing cards.
13 if you count Battle Skull and Caldra.
You have 13 token producers in the deck.
And each of them is individually powerful.
Yeah, and each is a good card. It's
on
like
its own,
really, really important to have it in this kind of way.
What I also like about stuff is that this is, I wouldn't say hard to hate, but it's pretty robust in the sense that if you play it right, you can activate it immediately. You can get the card even if you're facing artifact removal. And what is also nice again for this card is, as it is stated on the text, it gets the counter when you create the token. So even if you're facing Plague Engineer or if you will cycle this Shark Typhoon for X is 0, you still get the token and you still create a 0/0 that then dies and you still get the counter.
Yeah.
So this is a nice little thing that makes this card, I would say, a little bit better than originally thought. It's not like I don't know, that you would have to invest much more and it gets shut off by Plague Engineer or whatever. No, it's not the case.
The funny thing here about stuff is also like, if it gets removed, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, it's fine because I already have a token and maybe also draw a card.
Yeah.
I already got my 2-for-1.
Yeah,
I mean, it's totally okay. You don't feel bad.
And
It's
in that
like,
sense,
do it.
If you play it, you produce a token and you have open mana left, it feels bad for the opponent to cast, I don't know, a removal spell on it. It's really bad.
Yeah,
because
but
you draw a
can't let
card.
it live because you accrue even more advantage.
That's
it's like a
that's
losing
the idea.
position for him for them all the time.
Mm-hmm. To what is could be a problem, of course, it's like for immediate impact, it's rather low.
That's true.
And it is also rather slow in the long term. You really need multiple turns that you really get the value out of it. But for grindy matchups, for matchups that care about these small incremental advantages, put you a little bit ahead. It's very good. It's nice that the tokens are flying. You can
block a Delver.
Block a Delver, block Married Large for a couple of turns.
Block a Murktide for some turns.
Whatever, It's even though if it's no Strix and doesn't trade, but okay, it's fine. This card
you
is
can also block Goyf very nicely,
Sure.
And for example, for your deck, the thing is like with the form that this is a very, very slow card, it's easily to decide on this card to board out.
Yeah.
If you need like the interaction for combo. It's like, you won't have the time to draw up to turn 5 to draw 2 cards with it because you need to survive up until turn 3 to put some pressure on your opponent and lock out the game for them. Yeah. So you don't have the time and the mana to develop this card. So it's like cool to decide like, I don't have the time for this. I can easily put in cheap interaction for those type of decks. It's like a pretty clear switch out.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like if you're playing against Reanimators, and you have 4 Leylands or 4 Graveyard Hate in a sideboard, and it's like, well, the first thing coming out are 4 staffs for Graveyard Hate.
For example,
so easy.
Yeah.
and that's a pretty, how shall I say it? It's a pretty good thing to have if you're playing a longer tournament, because you don't need so much things to think about in the certain kind of matchups. It saves you some brain power.
Yeah.
Although it's a slow and grindy deck in its core.
Yeah.
All of the stuff decks.
For sure.
Yeah. I think
we'll wrap it up here. And we will hear us again in, I think,
3 weeks most likely.
Yeah, 3 weeks. It's at the end of May. And the next episode will be more about our trip to Bologna, probably. Yeah, without you, Peter. But you can talk to us in the next episode. about how much you will miss us.
Yeah.
I will tell you how you have to play, what decks you will have to play, because you will sabotage
I'm not playing
yourself,
Burn.
Phil.
I'm not playing Burn.
No, you will play Burn.
Isn't Delver the burn deck in?
No, I think it. I
It's a
mean,
burn
currently
deck in
it's
the
a
now
little
time.
bit more into this time again, but Delver was always it's a burn when I started Legacy
Yeah.
in like 2016 era. It was like Monastery Swift Spear, the 1/3 haste flyer and stuff like that. Storm Chaser Mage. It was basically
good times,
burn.
good old times. Yeah, we wrap it up here. If you like what we are doing, especially if we have a hiccup start like today, consider following us on social media. It's at response_legacy, probably everywhere. You can hit us up at in-response@gmx.at if you want to write us an email. That being said, you can find me on Twitter. It's @FinnickMTG, PHINEKMTG. Daniel, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on the lovely nickname of @FlyingDelver.
Oh, sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Peter, where can we find you and shoot you some nice private messages?
You can shoot me some private messages on Twitter. It's @UnicornLord, but the O in the Lord is a 0. With that, in response, the end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.